Hello, welcome to the news from Bahrain International News Center. I'm Ammar al-Murran and we begin with the headlines. His Majesty the King receives telephone calls from GCC, Arab and foreign leaders regarding the situation in the kingdom, expressing full solidarity with Bahrain. The General Command of the BDF affirms that the situation in Bahrain is under control, noting that the hostile missile attack did not result in any injuries or loss of life. Bahrain strongly condemns the Iranian missile attacks on the territories of Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, Kuwait, and Jordan. And Gulf and Arab states and regional and international organizations and governments condemn Iran's hostile missile attacks on Bahrain. Back. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa received a telephone call from UAE President His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, during which His Highness affirmed his country's full solidarity and support for Bahrain, strongly condemning the hostile missile attack on the kingdom's territory by Iran and pledging to harness all the capabilities and resources of the UAE to support the kingdom in all measures it takes to preserve its sovereignty, security, and stability. His Majesty expressed appreciation to His Highness for the sincere brotherly sentiments, praising the UAE's positions of solidarity and unwavering support for the kingdom and its people. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa received a telephone call from His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq of Oman, during which His Majesty the Sultan of Oman affirmed his country's full solidarity and support for Bahrain, strongly condemning the hostile missile attack on the kingdom's territory by Iran and pledging to harness all of Oman's capabilities and resources to support Bahrain in all measures it takes to preserve its sovereignty, security, and stability. His Majesty the King expressed appreciation to His Majesty the Sultan of Oman, praising the sincere brotherly sentiments and Oman's position of solidarity and unwavering support for Bahrain and its people. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa received a telephone call from His Royal Highness the Crown Prince and Prime Minister of Saudi Arabia, Prince Mohammed bin Salman bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud. During the call, His Royal Highness affirmed his country's full solidarity with Bahrain and its firm support following the hostile Iranian missile attack targeting its territory. His Royal Highness emphasized that Saudi Arabia stands ready to mobilize all its capabilities to support Bahrain in any measure it takes to safeguard its sovereignty, security, and stability. His Majesty expressed deep appreciation for Saudi Arabia's steadfast positions and sincere solidarity in support of Bahrain and its people. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa received a telephone call from His Majesty King Mohammed VI of Morocco, during which His Majesty King Mohammed VI affirmed his country's full solidarity and support for Bahrain, strongly condemning the Iranian hostile missile attack on Bahraini territory and offering Morocco's full readiness and capabilities to support Bahrain in all measures it takes to safeguard its sovereignty and protect its security and stability. His Majesty the King expressed appreciation to His Majesty King Mohammed VI, praising the sincere sentiments and Morocco's consistent positions of solidarity and firm support for Bahrain and its people. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa received a telephone call from Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, who affirmed his country's solidarity with Bahrain and condemned the Iranian missile attacks targeting its territory, expressing Egypt's support for Bahrain and the measures it takes to safeguard its sovereignty, security, and stability. His Majesty expressed deep appreciation for Egypt's supportive positions and the sincere solidarity of the President and his support to the kingdom. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa received a telephone call from the President of Lebanon, Joseph Aoun, during which he affirmed his country's full solidarity with Bahrain and Lebanon's condemnation of the missile attacks launched by Iran against the kingdom's territory. He also expressed Lebanon's support for the measures and steps taken by Bahrain to safeguard its sovereignty, security, and stability. His Majesty the King expressed appreciation to the Lebanese President, praising the Lebanon's supportive position and solidarity it has shown towards Bahrain. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa received a telephone call from French President Emmanuel Macron, who affirmed his country's solidarity with Bahrain and condemned the Iranian missile attacks targeting its territory, expressing France's support for Bahrain and the measures it takes to safeguard its sovereignty, security, and stability. His Majesty expressed deep appreciation for the supportive positions of France and sincere solidarity with the kingdom. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa received a telephone call from the President of the Council of Ministers of Italy, Giorgia Meloni, during which she affirmed her country's solidarity and support for Bahrain, condemned the missile attacks launched by Iran against the kingdom's territory, and expressed Italy's backing for the measures taken by Bahrain to preserve its sovereignty, security, and stability. His Majesty the King expressed appreciation for Italy's positions and its sincere solidarity and support for Bahrain. The General Command of the Bahrain Defense Force announces that its air defense systems effectively intercepted further hostile attacks launched by Iran. The General Command confirms that the situation is completely secure and fully under control and reassures that there were no injuries or loss of life as a result of this attack. The General Command also announces that the continued temporary precautionary closure of Bahrain's airspace in anticipation of these unjustified attacks, which constitute a flagrant violation of international law. It stresses that Bahrain reserves its legitimate right to take all necessary measures to defend its sovereignty and security in accordance with the international law and the UN Charter. The General Command explained that the specialized field teams are continuing to secure the sites of the attacks to ensure the safety of citizens and residents, affirming that the vigilance and readiness of its personnel are capable of repelling and defeating any aggression targeting the security and stability of Bahrain. The General Command of the Bahrain Defense Force announces that its air defense systems have successfully intercepted a hostile missile attack launched from Iran. The BDF confirms that the situation is stable and is fully under control. The attack resulted in no casualties or loss of life. Securing operations at the site of the attack are ongoing to ensure the safety of all citizens and residents. The BDF reaffirms its unwavering commitment to its national duty and continues with its responsibilities with full efficiency and capability. The BDF remains at the highest state of military readiness to counter any threat to the security, stability, and territorial integrity of Bahrain and all those who reside upon its soil. The General Command calls upon citizens and residents to exercise caution and vigilance, to refrain from circulating rumors and unverified information, to rely solely on official sources, and to keep clear of the sites of the attack. The Representatives' Council strongly condemned the Iranian missile attacks on Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Qatar, Kuwait, and Jordan, calling them a flagrant violation of sovereignty and international law. It affirmed that such aggression cannot be justified and that Bahrain and its brotherly states retain the right to respond and take all necessary measures to safeguard their security and stability in line with the international law and the UN Charter. The Council praised the performance of Bahrain's region's air defense systems and praised the state's institutions and the armed forces, especially the Bahrain Defense Force and the Ministry of Interior, for their high readiness and professionalism in protecting citizens and residents. It also urged everyone to follow official instructions, avoid rumors, and rely only on official sources for information. The Council welcomed the solidarity and support of Arab and friendly states and called on the Interparliamentary Union and all parliamentary bodies to condemn the attack and take an immediate and firm stance against these hostile acts that threaten regional security and stability. The Shura Council expressed its strong condemnation and denunciation of the treacherous Iranian missile attacks on the territories of Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Qatar, Kuwait, and Jordan, which constitutes a flagrant violation of international law and an unacceptable infringement on the sovereignty of Bahrain and its brotherly countries, as well as a dangerous escalation and undermining of security and stability in the region. The Council affirmed its united to stand behind the wise leadership of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, affirming its support for the government's efforts led by His Royal Highness the Crown Prince, Deputy Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces and Prime Minister Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, in safeguarding the security of the kingdom, consolidating its stability, and strengthening its national unity in the face of any challenges. The Council noted that the attacks on some national facilities are a direct violation of the sovereignty of Bahrain, its security and safety, and it constitute a flagrant violation of the principles of good neighborliness and international law, warning the consequences of continuing such hostile acts. It affirms that the security of the countries of the region is indivisible and that any threat to one of them affects them all. The Council affirmed Bahrain's position and strong condemnation of these attacks and reserves the full right to respond and take the necessary measures to protect its national security and preserve its sovereignty. It calls on the international community to shoulder its responsibilities in condemning these attacks, taking decisive action, and adopting clear positions to solve violations that affect the sovereignty of states, working to prevent escalation, respecting the rules of international law, and giving priority to the dialogue and peaceful solutions. The Shura Council highly values the sincere efforts and remarkable contributions of the Bahrain Defense Force, the Ministry of Interior, and all security and competent agencies, which continue with determination and unwavering national will and high military readiness to counter any hostile missile attacks from Iran, thereby safeguarding the security and sovereignty of the kingdom. It also calls on citizens, residents and visitors to demonstrate national responsibility, maintain social cohesion, fully comply with the directives and instructions issued by the competent authorities, refrain from being swayed by rumors or unreliable news, and obtain information from official sources. The Shura Council affirmed that Bahrain will remain strong in its unity, firm in its institutions, and confronting anyone who attempts to undermine its security or stability. The Ministry of Interior confirms that as part of preparations and precautions for emergency situations, it is recommended to prepare a safe room inside the house, provided that it is easily accessible, preferably located on the ground floor or in the middle of the house, preferably without windows, and provided with sufficient space to store basic needs in a way that contributes to enhancing safety and readiness when needed. The Ministry assures that all citizens and residents that the relevant authorities in Bahrain are making the utmost efforts to deal with the current situation and calls on everyone to remain calm, enhance community cohesion, and avoid spreading rumors. The Ministry of Interior confirmed the evacuations have begun for citizens of residents in the Jafar area, and urges everyone to cooperate with relevant authorities. The Ministry of Interior is undertaking all necessary measures regarding the situation, as the competent authorities are closely following developments and taking legal and regulatory measures in accordance with the approved regulations. The Ministry works through its security and field agencies to enhance readiness, monitor the general situation, and ensure the protection of lives and property as part of its continued keenness to maintain security and stability. The Ministry confirms that it will continue to perform its national duty with all professionalism and competence, while applying the law to everyone in a way that enhances societal peace and preserves the security and safety of Bahrain. In light of the continued response to missiles that were detected in the airspace, the Ministry of Interior calls upon citizens and residents who would find or see debris of foreign objects not to approach them and report them to the emergency line 999. The Ministry expresses appreciation for the cooperation shown by citizens and residents in this regard. The Ministry of Interior also affirms that anyone who films, posts, or reposts videos from scenes of the events is subject to legal accountability, as this constitutes a legal violation that could harm public security and order. The Ministry of Interior said that the Civil Defense is carrying out its procedures in response to damage sustained by 3 buildings in the capital Manama and in Muharraq as a result of a drone attack and the fall of debris from an intercepted missile. The first building was evacuated and the fire brought under control, with 1 minor case of suffocation recorded and treated on site. While firefighting and securing operations are currently underway at the second site, an assessment is also underway of the material damage to the third building caused by falling debris from intercepted missile. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Atif bin Rashid al-Zayani, received telephone calls from a number of foreign ministers of Arab countries and friendly nations to check on the situations in the kingdom following the Iranian missile attacks and to affirm their solidarity and support for Bahrain. The minister expressed his appreciation to them for their kind sentiments and solidarity with Bahrain, wishing the country's security, stability, and peace. Bahrain strongly condemns and denounces the treacherous Iranian missile attacks targeting Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Qatar, Kuwait, and Jordan in flagrant violation of their sovereignty, security, and stability. These attacks constitute a serious threat to the safety and lives of civilians and residents and demonstrate blatant disregard for international law, established norms, and the principles of good neighborliness. The Minister of Foreign Affairs praised the effectiveness of the air defense systems of Bahrain and the other brotherly Arab states, which intercepted and downed a number of missiles, while others struck certain sites and facilities. The minister affirmed that the armed forces in these states remain fully prepared to deter any attacks that threaten the security and safety of the Arab states and violate their sovereignty and independence. The ministry called on the international community to condemn this criminal aggression and to take an immediate and decisive stance to halt these hostile acts that endanger the lives of civilians and residents. It reaffirmed that the states retain their legitimate right to respond and take the necessary measures to preserve their sovereignty, security, stability, and the safety of their citizens and residents. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs calls upon all Bahraini nationals currently in Iran to depart immediately in order to ensure their safety and urges them to register their details through the official link below. The ministry also calls on religious and tourism campaign operators to fully cooperate by compiling and registering the details of all Bahraini nationals under their supervision and coordinating their prompt departure. Citizens are advised to immediately contact the ministry's communication and follow-up centers and at any time should assistance be required or in the event of an emergency by the hotline number provided. The Ministry of Education announced that as a temporary precautionary measure to ensure the safety of students, classes will be shifted to remote learning starting tomorrow and until further notice. The decision applies to early childhood education institutions, public and private schools, and higher education institutions. All institutions are required to ensure the continuity of the educational process and the regular attendance of students through approved digital platforms. The ministry said that all educational institutions may contact the Communication Attaché Directorate at the Ministry of Education should they require any technical support in implementing the transition to remote learning or to obtain clarification regarding any inquiries related to the academic schedule. Support is available 24 hours a day through the urgent service at WhatsApp at +17 873372 or via the ministry's official website. The ministry said that it will provide an update or any developments related to the educational process through its official platforms and underscored the importance of obtaining information solely from official sources. In light of the regional circumstances, the Civil Service Bureau announced that it was decided to activate work in ministries and government agencies at a rate of 70%, except in sectors whose work requires personal attendance or which has specialized work procedures in case of emergency, and as required by public safety as of tomorrow until further notice. In light of current developments, the Ministry of Industry and Commerce confirms the availability of basic food commodities in local markets and the presence of sufficient and safe strategic stock that meets the market needs and ensures the continuity of supplies without any impact on the abundance of commodities or the price stability. The ministry said that in cooperation with the private sector represented by the Bahrain Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the strategic stock levels of basic food commodities were raised, ensuring price stability and the availability of goods in local markets and sales outlets in a way that meets the consumer needs and continuity of supplies. They stressed there is no need for panic or excessive purchasing, reassuring that supply chains operate normally and regularly, and that concerned authorities are monitoring the situation continuously, ensuring consumer protection and maintaining market stability. The Civil Aviation Affairs at the Ministry of Transportation and Telecommunication announced that in light of the closure of Bahrain's airspace and countries in the region due to developments, arriving and departing flights at Bahrain international airports may be diverted, cancelled or rescheduled. The CAA said that the concerned authorities are continuously monitoring developments and coordinating with airlines and relevant regional and international entities to ensure the implementation of precautionary measures in accordance with the highest safety and security standards, which remain a top priority under all circumstances. The CAA urged passengers to contact their respective airline directly to obtain the updates and available rebooking options before heading to the airport to avoid any delays or inconvenience. It also said that it will continue to regularly provide the public with updates through official channels. UAE President His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan held telephone calls with leaders of Gulf, Arab and foreign countries to discuss regional developments and Iran's blatant attacks targeting the UAE and several friendly states. They warned of the serious consequences of continued violations of national sovereignty and the principles of international laws through such attacks, stressing that these actions represent a dangerous escalation that threatens regional security and undermines stability. UAE President His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan received a telephone call from the Saudi Crown Prince, His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salman bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud. They discussed regional developments and the treacherous Iranian attacks targeting the UAE and several countries. The Saudi Crown Prince expressed the kingdom's condemnation of the attacks and its full solidarity and support for the UAE, pledging to deploy all its capabilities to assist in all measures taken. Both sides warned of the severe consequences of continued violation of state sovereignty and principles of international law through such attacks, stressing that these actions represent a dangerous escalation that threatens the region's security and undermines its stability. Both sides called for restraint and resort to diplomatic solutions to preserve the security and stability of the region. The Emir of Kuwait, His Highness Sheikh Mish'al Al Ahmed Al Sabah, also held telephone calls with leaders of Gulf, Arab and foreign countries. They expressed their condemnation and rejection of this blatant act of aggression, describing it as a flagrant violation of Kuwait's sovereignty and airspace, as well as of international law and the UN Charter. The countries affirmed their full support for their Kuwaiti brothers and leadership, government and people, and pledged full backing for all measures and decisions Kuwait takes to safeguard its sovereignty, security, and stability. The spokesperson for the Kuwaiti Ministry of Defense, Colonel Saud Al-Atwan, announced that the General Staff of the Kuwait Army confirms the continuation of military operations to counter waves of ballistic missile and drone attacks. Colonel Al-Atwan said in a statement that debris fell on Ali Salim Air Base, and as a result of the air defense forces respond to ballistic missiles and drones, resulting in minor injuries to 3 members of the armed forces and some material damage, stressing that this had no impact on operational and combat readiness. He explained that the Kuwaiti Air Defense Forces continue to respond and to deal with hostile attacks with an integrated defense system involving various formations of the armed forces. The Kuwaiti Ministry of Foreign Affairs expressed Kuwait's strong condemnation of the treacherous Iranian attack that targeted its territory this morning. in a blatant violation of its sovereignty and its airspace, as well as international law and the UN Charter. The ministry affirms the full and inherent right of Kuwait to defend itself under Article 51 of the UN Charter in response to this blatant aggression, in accordance with the scale and nature of this attack and in accordance with international law. Kuwait vowed to take all necessary measures to protect its territory, people, and residents. The Emir of Kuwait, His Highness Sheikh Mash'al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Sabah, received a telephone call from the Saudi Crown Prince and Prime Minister, His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salman bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud, where His Royal Highness inquired about Kuwait, its leadership, and its people, following the treacherous Iranian attack targeting Kuwait. His Royal Highness expressed the kingdom's condemnation and denunciation of this blatant aggression, which constitutes a flagrant violation of Kuwait's sovereignty, its airspace, international law, and the UN Charter. His Royal Highness affirmed the kingdom's full solidarity with Kuwait, its leadership, government, and people, and its complete support for all measures and decisions taken to preserve its sovereignty, security, and stability. He said that the security and stability of Kuwait are an integral part of the security and stability of Saudi Arabia. The Emir of Qatar, His Highness Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, received a telephone call from His Royal Highness the Saudi Crown Prince and Prime Minister, Prince Mohammed bin Salman bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud, where they discussed regional developments amid the rapid security issues and repercussions of the ongoing escalation and its impact on regional and international security and stability. Both sides emphasized the necessity of an immediate halt to any escalatory action and a return to the negotiating table to preserve the region's security and prevent it into slipping to broader confrontations. His Highness the Emir of Qatar expressed solidarity with the brotherly countries targeted by the Iranian attacks, affirming that coordination continues to respond to this aggression. Saudi Arabia expressed its rejection and condemnation in the strongest terms of this blatant and cowardly Iranian attacks that targeted Riyadh and the eastern province, which were repelled. These attacks cannot be justified under any pretext or in any way, and came despite the Iranian authorities' knowledge that the kingdom had confirmed that it would not allow its airspace and territory to be used to target Iran. In light of this unjustified aggression, the kingdom affirms that it will take all necessary measures to defend its security and protect its territory and citizens and residents, including the option of responding to the aggression. Saudi Arabia strongly condemned and denounced the treacherous Iranian aggression and flagrant violation of the sovereignty of the UAE, Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, and Jordan. It affirms its full solidarity and full support for the brotherly countries, pledging to deploy all its capabilities and to assist them in all measures they take, warning of the severe consequences of the continued violation of the sovereignty of the states and the principles of international law. In a statement issued by its foreign ministry, Saudi Arabia calls on the international community to condemn these blatant aggressions and to take all decisive measures to confront the Iranian violations that undermine the security and stability of the region. His Highness the Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, held a telephone calls with leaders of Gulf, Arab and foreign countries to discuss developments in the region amid rapidly evolving security developments and the implications of the current escalation on regional and international security. They stressed during the calls the need for an immediate halt to any escalatory actions and a return to dialogue to safeguard the region's security and avoid sliding into wider confrontations. Qatar has strongly condemned the targeting of its territory with Iranian ballistic missiles, considering it a blatant violation of its national sovereignty, a direct assault on its security and territorial integrity, and an unacceptable escalation that threatens the security and stability of the region. The Qatari Ministry of Foreign Affairs said in a statement that Qatar reserves its full right to respond to this targeting in accordance with international law and in accordance with the nature of the aggression in defense of its sovereignty and to safeguard its security and national interests. During telephone calls with a number of Gulf, Arab and foreign leaders, His Majesty King Abdullah II of Jordan confirmed that his country will continue to take all necessary steps to preserve the safety of its citizens and protect the security and sovereignty. His Majesty emphasized Jordan's categorical rejection of any action that undermined the sovereignty, security and stability of the Arab countries, pointing to the need of restraint and dialogue to resolve crisis and spare the region the repercussions of escalation. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi affirmed during telephone calls with a number of Gulf and Arab leaders Egypt's full support and solidarity in confronting these attacks. He affirmed Egypt's categorical rejection of any violation of sovereignty of Arab states or any threat to their security and stability, and stressing that such practices pose a serious threat to regional security and the interests of its people. He stressed Egypt's firm position on the need to return to dialogue and diplomacy as a means of reaching political solutions to the current crisis, emphasizing that resorting to military solutions will not serve the interests of any party, but rather threatens to plunge the region into chaos and instability. Egypt strongly condemns Iran's targeting of the territorial integrity of brotherly Arab countries and the violation of their sovereignty, including in Bahrain, UAE, Kuwait, Qatar, and Jordan, highlighting the serious risk that this poses to the security and stability of the Arab states and the entire region. Egypt's foreign ministry affirmed in a statement the necessity of respecting the sovereignty, unity, and territorial integrity of these countries, adhering to the principle of good neighborliness, and exercising the utmost restraint during this critical phase in the region's history. It called for prioritizing dialogue and diplomacy to avoid expanding the scope of conflict and preventing the region from descending into a spiral of escalation that would be difficult to contain and would threaten regional and international security and peace. Egypt also expressed deep concern over the dangerous military escalation in the region and the risks it entails of widening the conflicts, leading the entire region into a state of total chaos with catastrophic repercussions for regional and international security, stability, and peace. The Egyptian Foreign Ministry reiterated the importance of political and peaceful solutions, stressing that military solutions will only lead to more violence and bloodshed, and emphasized that the only way to ensure security and stability lies in committing to diplomacy and dialogue. The Arab Parliament Speaker Mohammed al-Yamahi condemned the blatant Iranian attacks that targeted the territories of several Arab countries. Al-Yamahi emphasized that these aggressions constitute a clear and unacceptable violation of international law and infringement among the sovereignty of the Arab states affected by these unjustifiable acts. He reaffirmed that Arab national security is a red line that must not be crossed under any circumstances. He further expressed the Arab Parliament's full solidarity with the affected Arab nations and its unwavering support for all measures they deem necessary to safeguarding their security, sovereignty, territorial integrity, and the safety of their citizens. The GCC Secretary General Jassim Al-Bdawi expressed the Council's strongest condemnation of the blatant Iranian missile attacks on the territories of Bahrain, UAE, Qatar, Kuwait, and Jordan. In a blatant violation of their sovereignty, he also affirmed the solidarity of all GCC states and their united stance in confronting these attacks, pledging to deploy all their capabilities to supporting them in all measures taken to defend their sovereignty, security, and national interests, while reserving the right to respond and defend themselves in accordance with the principle of the UN Charter. Al-Bdawi warned of the dire consequences of this unjustified escalation, which threatens the security and stability of the region, and clarified that the GCC have always been strong advocates for maintaining peace, security, and regional stability for the benefit of all peoples of the region. He said that targeting the territories of the GCC contradicts the provisions of the international law, the UN Charter, and the principles of good neighborliness, and cannot be accepted under any justification or pretext. Al-Abdiawi stressed that Iran must immediately cease any escalatory actions that could undermine regional security and stability. The General Secretariat of the Arab League condemned in the strongest terms the Iranian attacks and assaults on Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, UAE, and Jordan, and considers that the missile attacks constitute a flagrant violation of the sovereignty of states that call for peace, have worked to achieve stability, and have not participated in the war. The General Secretariat expresses its full solidarity with the Arab states in confronting these attacks and supports any measures they take to defend themselves and secure their peoples. The General Secretariat emphasizes that the Arab states have taken clear positions on the Iranian crisis by rejecting military actions against Tehran, and that Arab states have made tremendous efforts to mediate in order to avoid the escalation. The Secretariat is aware of the danger posed by the current situation in the region and calls on all actors in the international community to work to de-escalate the situation as fast as possible, spare the region the scourge of spreading instability and violence, and return to dialogue. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said that Europe condemns the Iranian attacks that targeted Bahrain, the UAE, Qatar, Kuwait, and Jordan, describing them as a clear breach of international law. The European Commission added that Europe strongly condemns these unjustified attacks. The governments of the UK, France, and Germany have condemned the Iranian attacks on countries in the Middle East. In a joint statement, the three countries called for the resumption of negotiations while noting that the UK, France, and Germany have consistently urged Iran to end its nuclear program, curb its ballistic missile program, and refrain from destabilizing activities in the region. They also affirmed that they did not participate in the strikes against Iran and reiterated their commitment to stability and of the region. The UN Security Council is meeting amid the latest developments in the Middle East. Diplomats at the UN said that a 15-member body will convene today, with the meeting chaired by the UK, which holds the Council's rotating monthly presidency. Russia's mission to the UN stated that Russia and China had requested the emergency meeting. A UN diplomat added that Secretary General Antonio Guterres intends to address the Security Council session. And that is all from Bahrain International's News Center. From all the news team and me, Ammar al-Marran. Goodbye.